The first major patch of Path of Exile 2 was just dropped on YouTube, as well as it was streamed on the Path of Exile Twitch channel. Grinding Gear Games addressed a lot of things in this patch, including quality of life changes, bug fixes, and balancing. But in my opinion, this patch didn't really include anything too major in it. But let's get into the patch notes right now. I'm just going to summarize them up for you guys in more simpler terms and hopefully a shorter style video. So let's get right into it, shall we? Maps in general have more monsters, chests, and rares, but will specialize in one of these things only. This means we're going to be seeing a whole lot more loot and are going to be rewarded for completing each map. And hopefully this helps with map sustain for many other players. They've added 4 more tower maps and have reworked the original one that we were given on early access, as it was way too boring. I agree with this rework. I didn't really feel excited whenever I came to a tower. It was just very monotonous and quite boring, as I just ran past most of the mobs. Maps having bosses has been fixed. It was intended for maps to have a boss 1 in every 4 maps, but that was not the case, as multiple maps were not spawning bosses. This has now been fixed, and maps are going to have bosses more often, meaning the loot pinatas will be more. This is a good change. They've also added a precursor tablet in this patch to add more bosses to your maps, so if you enjoy running those bosses, you can just juice them up even more. Strong boxes have been fixed, no more annoying fog, no more stupid delay. Effect visibility has been improved. I didn't really run into this problem, but maybe some others did. We can finally zoom out on the atlas. This is a much needed change. They also added some other quality of life changes, such as being able to see a biome when you hover over the map, and some improvements to the loading time of the atlas once you click on it. Delirium looks to have been improved and fixed. They also buffed the drop rate of the simulacrums to be more in line with running the pinnacle bosses in Expedition and Breach. For Ritual, the rate at which you see omens has been buffed by 60%. This is an all-around win. The rarity of items in the shop for Rog, Tujin, and all the others surrounding your map devices has been improved. This is a much needed change, as I just sold all my exotic coinage for Exalts. I think many other players did this as well. Onto Pinnacle bosses. Pinnacle bosses will have 6 portals like we have in Path of Exile 1, so it is a bit more fair to the amount of work that you put into getting to the Pinnacle boss. Other Pinnacle bosses will get the same treatment later on in future leagues. A lot of the crappier uniques are going to be buffed, so it feels more rewarding when you find them early on. There are going to be some more significant item changes. These changes are a bit more complicated, so I'd have to actually read them in order to describe them to you, so I'm just going to wait for the patch notes. We can finally now override runes with another socketable item, such as a soul core or another room. Thank God, this is a much needed addition to the game. A lot of monsters have undergone a significant amount of tuning, such as the gorilla boss not dealing as much damage with one of its mechanics. There are going to be a lot of these in the patch notes, so I'm not going to address them all that were provided in the video. Armor is going to be getting a slight improvement. Hopefully it's now usable. I don't feel like I got the change that I wanted, but shit, I'm not using armor anyway, so, you know, sucks to suck for you guys. And finally, we will now be able to see the amount of charm uses in the UI near our flasks. Before this patch and currently, we are not able to see when our charges are being used, so it kind of feels like they are useless, when in actual reality, they are very useful. This change also includes an effect that tells the player when they are triggered. As much as I wanted to see a lot of stuff changed in this patch, I understand why they would want to hold off for a bigger league, as it gives the player time to just fiddle around with what they've built and not feel like stuff is being taken away from them, like in the patch they released on the 16th that made a lot of players very upset. In the next coming days, they're going to be making another video of the discussion that DM and Gazzy had with Mark and Jonathan about where the game is heading in the future and things that need to be addressed in the future as well. All in all, I think this was a very good step for the game. I don't see any of these changes making people particularly mad. These are very good quality of life changes that honestly just needed to happen, especially with the Pinnacle boss change. Hopefully I simplified these changes a little bit more for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.